to show you how to open up a scheduled visit and enter data for a patient. So let's start with our patient here who's on day 1, and I'll just show you how we open up the series of CRFs that are contained within this visit. So these are all of the scheduled visits here. Later I'll show you how to generate an unscheduled visit. But for now, let's open the day 1. This is when you get to 2 different screens which enable you to enter this scheduled visit. So the first wants you to change the status of the visit. It asks you when the date and time of the visit was, where the appointment took place, in hospital, at home, in clinic, over the phone, and the status of that visit. So any visit that's not been opened will be classified as new. To move into any of the visits, you need to change it to in progress. If you haven't finished but you'd like to leave the visit, it's incomplete. And if you've done everything contained within the visit and completed all of the CRFs, then that's done. So this is a visit I want to turn to in progress to open it. And the reason for the appointment, well, this is a scheduled visit because it falls on one of those days that are outlined on that dashboard there. So that's all I need to do. Click Save. And then I'll be invited to start the appointment. So click on the orange Start button. Some of these will be pre-populated. So what is the reason for the visit report? Well, the EDC knows it's scheduled. If it was unscheduled, it would ask me to enter information as to why we've had an unscheduled visit. And all it wants to ask me now is the main source of this information. So most likely that's going to be from the patient. It may be a collateral from the relative or guardian. In this instance, I'll tick patient. And you can also just enter any other pertinent information about what's going on here to help those understand why you've ticked selected boxes. So you click on Save and then you're taken inside that scheduled visit. And you'll see here we've got a list of CRFs. So these are the forms that need to be filled out at this visit. And then also down here we've got some requisitions. So these are the blood tests here in Gaborone that need to be requested within the first 24 hours of the study. Down here on the right hand side I've got some PRN forms. Some of these are PRNs which are always here at the side of the EDC because they're events that may need you to generate a form. So a death report, protocol deviation or violation, and to trigger an adverse event process. There's also PRN CRFs. So if I wanted to add some CRFs onto the left-hand side here, perhaps for microbiology or radiology in this instance, then I can do that. And there's also PRN requisitions, which we'll come to later. So I can add an additional blood tests which aren't listed here. So it's so that I can add anything that's not necessarily mandatory for every patient, but may be specific to that patient. So this is what this page looks like. So now we're going to go in and open up one of these forms. We'll start with the patient history. So just click on Add. And then we're in the form. And now there's quite a long series of questions within this form. It's day 1, it's the patient history, so I won't go through all of them, but I'll just demonstrate to you that there are a couple of different features within this form. So all of these are pre-populated with the visit and the date, but there's a number of different types of question here. So some of these are multiple questions where you can put multiple answers on the right hand side, but some of them are very specific and are triggered by the fact that if you've written headache here, you must state what the duration of that headache is. Some questions are just yes or no. Some of them are multiple choice. Some of them are their vital signs, other symptoms, examination findings, and some are even drop-down boxes where you can list all of the different infections that an individual has had. And this is how these forms look.